In this episode of the Bucs Daily MinuteCast, more Bucs wide receivers are banged up. Breshad Perriman and Scotty Miller were limited. Bucs new signee Cole Beasley didn't necessarily leave a good first impression. And who said Tom Brady needs a day off? Wednesdays were supposed to be his day off, and he was at practice anyway. The Bucs Daily MinuteCast starts right now.
MinuteCast Media.
10,000!
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers MinuteCast starts right now.
Bucs on 3, 1, 2, 3, Bucs!
This is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers MinuteCast. Well, hello and welcome into this edition of the Bucs Daily MinuteCast. I'm so glad you decided to join me today. As always, this podcast is free and available on all the major platforms. You can find this podcast on the Bucs Report. Check them out online, bucsreport.com. You can also find this podcast on YouTube. Just search for the Bucs Report. And of course, this podcast is available wherever you get your audio podcasts. Just search for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers MinuteCast. My name is Dan Holme. You can find me on Twitter. It's at DanCaps218. This episode is brought to you by Manscaped. Get 20% off plus free shipping with promo code MinuteCast. This offer good only through October 8th. So in this edition, that is what we're going to talk about. Just some movement and news surrounding your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This was news. This isn't news from today, but the Bucs assigned Cole Beasley and Justin Skull to the practice squad. Bucs placed Josh Wells and Giovanni Bernard on injured reserve. And I got to say, I was looking at some of the video footage today, and I guess I would say that Cole Beasley didn't necessarily leave a really great impression. He kind of muffed a punt return there. And, understand that these guys can be nervous just like the rest of us. But, it wasn't just a great first impression, if you asked me. Mike Evans' appeal of a one-game suspension is denied. He will miss Sunday's game versus the Packers. And, I guess I would say that is some of the biggest news that I have for you today. Is Mike Evans out? Chris Godwin, questionable. I would doubt that we see him. And then the news today that wide receivers that are banged up, Breshad Perriman and Scotty Miller, yes, even these depth guys are questionable now. So I guess it remains to be seen who, in fact, is going to be playing in the wide receiver position for the Bucs on Sunday versus the Packers. I know hindsight is 20/20 and all that kind of stuff. And at the end of the day, I do support what Mike Evans did. I do support what Leonard Fournette did. That team tough attitude out there. That's what you have to have, is team tough, because if you don't have your teammates back, who is going to? And I support what they did. He is the GOAT. He is the greatest of all time. Some people are now saying out there that Lattimore retaliated, that Tom Brady, in fact, said something to him first, and that's why Lattimore gave him that gesture. I guess that, that's hearsay. I wasn't there, but that is the rumor mill that is out there swirling. A statement from Mike Evans' agent, Derek Gilmore, on NFL appeals officer James Thrash, affirming the one-game suspension of Bucs receiver. And then this was the official statement on it from his lawyer. We are disappointed that the league upheld a suspension when there were several arguments of players doing more egregious violations, including punching, kicking, and choking players, and not being suspended. In addition, Evans had already been ejected, which is penalty enough, but the league chose to discipline him even more. This is unfortunate, but we will respect the league's decision. And I guess, an appeal, it couldn't hurt. I didn't really think that there was going to be, any change of heart there, that they were going to overturn it. But in any event, Mike Evans will be suspended for one game. But, like I say, hindsight is 20/20, and I don't think I would have done anything any different. And Lattimore and Evans have such a history together. So it doesn't really surprise me too much that things boiled over a little. And, I expect that it will the next time the Bucs play the Saints as well. Not the greatest first impression. Cole Beasley mishandles his first punt at practice. And there's video footage of it to kind of confirm the botch thing there where he missed the football and his helmet came off. And it was just a hot mess out there. You can tell that the Bucs are getting a little bit desperate in the wide receiver position. I mean, I'm Cole Beasley, he's, kind of not one of the upper echelon wide receivers, I guess, out there. So, again, I think that the Bucs, to a certain extent, are getting a bit desperate in that position. Bucs wide receiver Cole Beasley said, "I've been wanting to play with Tom Brady for a long time." He said he slid into Brady's DMs on Instagram and had this to say.
I've been wanting to play with Brady for a long time, so it's exciting for me. I'm excited for the opportunity, and just ready to get back at it. It's a humbling experience, kind of waiting this long. It's the first time I've never been through a camp, so I got a lot of catching up to do.
So, sliding into his DMs, that's a bit of an interesting thing to say there. But, like I say, beggars can't be choosers. And at this point, I think the Bucs went with what they had. And, I think they're just trying to make the best of a bad situation, really. All right, so after the break, we are going to continue to talk about all the latest with the Bucs, how Tom Brady was supposed to have all of his Wednesdays off, but guess who decided to show up at practice? And then we will talk about the other moves surrounding the Buccaneers. We'll talk about that. But first, support for the Bucs Daily MinuteCast is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Their precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped's Performance Package, the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. Join over 6 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer just for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with promo code MinuteCast at manscaped.com. That's promo code MinuteCast at manscaped.com. Inside this package, you'll find their Lawnmower 4.0 Weed Whacker Ear and Nose Hair Trimmer, Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant, Crop Reviver, Performance Boxer Briefs, and a travel bag to hold your goodies. First off, the Lawnmower 4.0 is the future of grooming and, dare I say, the greatest ball hair trimmer ever. Their fourth generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. The Lawnmower 4.0 is a waterproof and also has a 4000K LED spotlight. You need a more precise shave. Because this trimmer is waterproof, you can say goodbye to the mess on the bathroom floor. You thought that was good, but want to take your grooming game even further to the next level? Their Performance Package 4.0 also includes the Weed Whacker Nose and Hair Trimmer. The Weed Whacker is also waterproof and provides proprietary skin technology, which helps reduce nicks, snags, and tugs in those delicate areas. Their Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant and Crop Reviver Ball Toner will change the way you approach your hygiene routine. Trust me when I tell you this, fellas, your balls will thank you. Manscaped even threw in 2 free gifts to their Performance Package 4.0, the Manscaped Boxers and the Shed Travel Bag. Bring your comfort in boxers to another level. It's time to take care of yourself. So go to manscaped.com and get 20% off plus free shipping with promo code MinuteCast. So get 20% off and free shipping with promo code MinuteCast at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com and use promo code MINUTECAST. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. All right, and thanks to Manscaped for sponsoring this show. That special 20% off plus free shipping with promo code MinuteCast is good through October 8th. So welcome back into this edition of the Bucs Daily MinuteCast, and just getting you caught up with a little bit of the news surrounding your Bucs as they prepare to take on the Green Bay Packers with a depleted wide receiver core. A lot of questions, a lot of, who's going to be playing here, who's going to be playing there. If this Bucs team can find a way to win on Sunday, I think that they can stand up to most any challenge. And like I talked about off the top there, Bucs wide receivers Breshad Perriman and Scotty Miller were limited. So, I mean, I guess I am not ruling them out totally. But again, Breshad Perriman, who played rather well, and Scotty Miller, who had a hard time catching a ball. Even they're depth players in and of themselves, but without Evans and ostensibly Chris Godwin, who in fact is going to be playing the wide receiver position. So this is a big story here for me because, everyone made a big deal that Tom Brady said that he wants to take Wednesdays off, that he's played, umpteen years in the league. And I think that, I deserve to have Wednesdays off. Well, guess who showed up to practice on Wednesday? This story, was in the Bleacher Report. Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback Tom Brady's Wednesdays off days from practice lasted 1 week. Per NFL's Ian Rappaport, Brady took part in the team's first practice of the week after feeling good enough to do so. Rappaport reported Sunday that the 7-time Super Bowl champion would receive the not injured related rest designation for Wednesday practices throughout the season, giving Brady an additional day off each week. Brady sat out the Bucs' first practice last week with the rest designation. He was a full participant in their Thursday and Friday practices. One reason Brady may have decided to take part in the first practice this week is because the Bucs' offense has struggled. Tampa Bay has scored 39 points, with 6 coming off interception return touchdown by safety Mike Edwards against the New Orleans Saints in week 2. And, it starts on the top and works its way down. So if you don't have Tom Brady totally dialed in, well, I think your offense is going to struggle, of course. Now, the things that are going to be said, at some point this season, or maybe, after this season, is the time that Tom Brady missed. How much of an impact is this having on this Bucs team? Are they out of sync because Brady missed that time in camp? I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but, that's what will be spoke of. Tampa has a host of key players who are injured. Receivers Chris Godwin and Julio Jones and offensive tackle Donovan Smith sat out the Saints game. None of 3 players was on the field at the start of practice Wednesday. Mike Evans won't play in week 3 after his 1-game suspension for knocking down Saints cornerback Marshon Lattimore was upheld the appeal. The team assigned Cole Beasley to the practice squad Wednesday to provide depth at wide receiver. I hope he is prepared to be targeted quite a few times if Godwin doesn't come back, or Miller. It's going to be interesting. Our Perriman in that group there as well. Brady had an unusual offseason as he prepared for his 23rd season. The 3-time league MVP left the Bucs for 11 days last month for an undisclosed personal matter. His absence was approved by head coach Todd Bowles. And this is what I was talking about just earlier there. Are we going to talk about that after this season? Was Brady out of sync because he missed those days? I know that he has 7 Super Bowl rings, but, is he out of sync a little bit because he missed that time? That's that's a point of conversation, shall we say. In his first 2 starts of the season, Brady has thrown for 402 yards with 2 touchdowns and 1 interception with a 59.0 completion percentage. He led the NFL in completions with 485, attempts 719, and passing yards 5,316. And passing touchdowns 43 in 2021. The Buccaneers are now 2-0 thanks in large part to their performance of their defense. They have held the Saints and Dallas Cowboys to 13 points and 552 yards. Brady and the Bucs will host the Green Bay Packers in week 3. Brady has won both head-to-head matchups with Aaron Rodgers since joining the Bucs in 2020. And this is going to be Brady's last season in the NFL, and it's going to be his last season with the Bucs. And you got to think that he's going to bring his A game. And everyone out there is talking about what is going on in Tom Brady's head. He seems to be a different man this year. Well, we know that there's been a bit of a rift in his marriage. We know that, right? Okay, and happy wife, happy life, or happy life, happy wife, all that kind of stuff. But, so there is some issues going on in his household. So Tom Brady has some issues at home. Plus, he is having those issues with his wife. You got all his wide receivers for the most part are injured in some form. So, I think that we need to give Tom Brady a bit of a break out there. He does have a lot of going on in his life. And, like he said in that interview, shit gets complicated when you get older. All right, in this next story in Bucs Wire, they were talking about Bucs make more roster moves ahead of Week 3 matchup versus the Packers. And I spoke of some of these earlier. The Tampa Bay Bucs are making a couple more roster moves as they prepare for Sunday's home opener against the Green Bay Packers. Defensive lineman Deidrin Sennett has been signed from the practice squad to the active roster, while fellow defensive trench dweller Collie Davis has been signed to the practice squad. Sennett, a USF alum who played his college home games at Raymond James Stadium, was signed in the offseason, and returned to the practice squad after being part of the final roster cuts before Week 1. Davis was originally drafted by the Bucs and now returns to provide familiar depth in case any more injuries plague the defensive line. And at this point, you can kind of almost count on it, can't you? I'm recalling last summer when everyone's like, this team is so stacked. Why is Jason Light going out and signing all these players? They're never going to need them all. I guess they do, don't they? Chickens have come home to roost as the wide receiver position is totally depleted. Mike Evans will be gone for one game, but he always seems to get injured at least some point in any season. Chris Godwin, who missed a lion's share of last season because of that knee injury, is now out with a hamstring issue. You got Donovan Smith out. Miller and Perriman are all questionable. There's a lot of big questions on this Bucs team as they head in, to play a Packers team, that played pretty poor in Week 1, but not so bad in Week 2. Is this Bucs team going to be prepared for them considering all the injuries? You went out and signed Cole Beasley. Is that going to instill any confidence in me as a fan of the team? Not too much. If Scotty Miller and Breshad Perriman being the primary targets out there, is that going to inspire any confidence in me as a Bucs fan? No, not really. I know Perriman did have some good plays out there, and he's done a stand-up job out there, and I'm a fan of Scotty Miller, but this Bucs team needs this Bucs team needs Mike Evans. This Bucs team needs Chris Godwin out there. There is no question about it. And, I'm going to kind of draw into question what this team is going to be able to do without some of their biggest pieces in the lineup. Donovan Smith, he's questionable, and I talked about, Godwin and Evans and Miller and Perriman. Who's going to be on the field on Sunday? A lot of questions out there. Hit me up on Twitter, DanCaps218. Let me know what you're thinking about this Caps team or this Bucs team. You got to forgive me. I just got done doing a podcast on the Caps before this. But a lot of question marks out there that need to be answered. And, with all the depleted core out there, the wide receiver position is the one that has me the most concerned. But again, hit me up on Twitter, DanCaps218. Let me know what you think. Who is going to fill these voids in the wide receiver position? It's not like they're going to be able to just, pull these different guys out there. It's not like you're going to be able to have Devin White be out there and be a wide receiver. Not every position out there is plug and play. So unless they plan on going out there and signing some other players, or, the fact that, maybe Perriman will come back, maybe Scotty Miller will come back, maybe, say something crazy happens and Chris Godwin's good to go. Okay, then maybe you've changed my mind a little bit. But as it stands at this moment right now at 9:20 p.m. Central on Wednesday, I got a lot of questions about this team. I just got to be honest with you. And as we head into what is Tom Brady's last season in the NFL, his last season with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, how are they prepared? How are they prepared to win this game? Let's face it, Tom Brady came back so he could win another Super Bowl. Make no mistake about it. He can candy coat it and say whatever he wants to say. He came back for unfinished business. Why? I'm not really so sure. He has 7 Super Bowl rings to his credit. Well, is he going to get 8? Is that the magic number for him that's going to unlock happiness? Don't get me wrong. I am so happy that Tom Brady decided to come back for 1 year to give this Bucs team a really strong run to win another Super Bowl. They seem stacked out there before all these injuries. They seem like they would be good contenders. But now like I said, I got a lot of questions, and I know if they lose on Sunday, it's not the end of the world and the sky is falling. I get all that. But, it kind of just sets that negative momentum. It kind of has drawn things back a little bit. The Bucs picked up some pretty good momentum by winning against the Saints in New Orleans for the first time in quite some time. That, it almost seems like they've backpedaled a little bit. I know it's going to be Thursday tomorrow, and we have some days before the game on Sunday. And I really hope that some of these wide receivers are able to come back. Otherwise, pretty depleted if you know what I'm talking about. So again, it's not the end of the world if the Bucs don't win on Sunday. I get that, but I would prefer that they win because you want to stockpile as many wins as you possibly can. And I know that the Bucs stand a great chance of doing it with Tom Brady at the helm because let's face it, Bucs fans, let's have a come to Jesus moment with me. Next season, there are going to be a lot of questions about who is going to be the QB, right? Is it going to be Gabbert? Is it going to be Trask? Is it going to be some free agent that they pick up out there? This is, what the old saying is, and they say this up north. I don't know if they say it down south, but you got to make hay while the sun shines. And the Bucs need to make hay while the sun shines. What is that I'm talking about? The Bucs need to try to win a Super Bowl with Tom Brady at the helm because Lord knows what we're going to have at QB next year. Is Gabbert going to take this team to a Super Bowl? I don't feel too confident about that. Trask, who was redshirted almost all of last year, is he going to do it? I'm not so sure either. Just rewind time a little bit. Not so long ago when Tom Brady was retired and the Bucs Nation was all up in arms. Who is going to be the QB of this team, and who is going to lead this team into the promised land of winning the NFC South? Was it going to be Trask? Was it going to be Gabbert? There was a lot of names that were linked to this team, but none of them came here. And we know it. Tom Brady did, in fact, say that this is going to be his last season with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is going to be his last season in the NFL. So a lot of questions need to be answered. And how I'm going to tie this all back here is that the Bucs need to stockpile wins at any cost. This is the reason that Brady came back, was to win a Super Bowl. Don't kid yourself. He didn't come back to get eliminated. He came back to win a Super Bowl. And, he has the mindset that I've done this 7 times. I know what I need to do. And he looked at the pieces in place and thought, yep, I think there's a pretty good chance I can do that. So, I'm a bit worried, to be honest with you, if these injuries start to stack up. And it all started with the Ryan Jensen thing. That was the big thing. Like, oh shit, right away. Oh shit, what's going on here? This wasn't in the script. Who in the hell said that Ryan Jensen was going to get injured? An integral part of this team injured in a stupid practice. It's one of those things that, like, Jesus, what the hell's going on out there? That's what I remember. That's what, when I saw that, I'm like, what the hell's going on? Why is Ryan Jensen getting injured when these wannabes are tackling him and he ends up tweaking his knee? Just a bunch of shit out there. I'm sorry. I'm a little irritated because this, again, this is going to be the last season for Tom Brady and one of probably their last big pushes for the Super Bowl in quite some time. I'd love to be wrong. Maybe they'll go out there and sign this huge QB out there and they'll be lights out. I really hope that's the case. But anyway, just bringing this all back. I know I'm kind of going out into the weeds a little bit. This podcast is a little bit, generally speaking, news driven, but I'm just kind of giving you some of my opinion. I didn't do a show yesterday because I had some other things going on. So I'm going a little bit longer today, but I'm just hopeful that this Bucs team can find a way to turn it around. I have no reason to doubt Tom Brady. I know that he's all dialed in and gives 110% every day. I hate the word 110%. There's only 100%. Anything else, the whole scale's screwed up. But in any event, that's how serious I am. I hope that, he always gives 110%. And I hope this Bucs team is ready to give 110%. They did an awesome job in New Orleans. They did an awesome job for the most part with the Cowboys. Let's hope that they can keep riding this wave of success because, like I said, after this season, a lot of question marks. A lot of question marks. Who's going to be the QB? That's paramount. And I don't think that anyone has a really good answer there for me on that one. So in any event, thank you for joining me on this later night edition of the Bucs Daily MinuteCast. And I'll talk to you again next time.